have to do an intro? Are we doing an intro?
Do we have to do an intro?
You know, she mocks me. This is not very nice. Alright, I'm ready.
It's my dance move.
Alright, Tequila Talk Tuesday. Cheers!
Cheers! That was a weird cheers, but it happened.
Motivated. Right? It's pretty good. It's like mango. Tequila mango-ness.
Yum. What is this, meal? Or what is it?
I don't know. Some weird fruit punch thing that my husband gets.
It's good.
We haven't done this in a while. Okay, hold on.
Terramana.
We need a dance.
Tequila.
We almost need like, I don't know. What's your dance again? This?
Yeah. You know.
With Terramana. I love it. Okay, so today we wanted to talk about staying motivated and prioritizing. And what should be prioritized, not what should be.
Yeah, kind of, sometimes.
Sort of.
We wanted to talk about it because with Amber and I, we've both been really busy, but if you're being honest, like, you're never too busy to do stuff. It's just a matter of what you're prioritizing. And Amber put it like really true and blunt. It's just, if you didn't do something that was asked of you, or you didn't work out, or you didn't drink your water, or eat your food, or blah, 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 it's not because you were too busy. It's because you just didn't prioritize it.
Yeah.
So recently, Amber and I have, well, not Amber and I, Amber has been putting together like a little PR package so that we can send it out to people, so we can be on other podcasts and just, you know, collaborate with more people. And so she was waiting on me to do like a little bio write-up of me, and for like the last 2 weeks, and I just didn't do it. And I just said, like, finally I was like, I'm doing it today, and I just didn't prioritize it. And Amber was like, well, that's me then.
She said, she said, like, I'm really sorry, I just haven't done it yet. And I said, no, I get it, you're all busy. And she went, no, remember what you said, I just didn't make it a priority. And I read that and I was like, that kind of hurts my feelings. That's really harsh, but at the same time, that's the entire point of it. Yeah. It's like, not that I was trying to make you feel bad, but that's the entire point of saying stuff like that. So my whole thing now, what I'm trying to get into the habit of, I'm still working on it myself, but when I want to do something, if I want to, you know, finish the PR package or finish the planner that I'm making, or if I want to work out, or if I decide, you know, to follow macros or food tracking, if I get it in my head that I just don't want to do it that day, I have to change the way that I'm talking to myself and say, I'm not making this a priority today. And there's a lot of times where I'll say that, and it's like an instant slap in the face to myself, going like, I bitch and complain that I don't have enough time. I bitch and complain that I don't work out all the time. I say all these things, but then at the same time I have to think about it. It's like, yeah, I bitch and complain, but I don't make them a priority. Mm-hmm. So yeah. It's like,
it's the hard truth, but it is like, and I feel like everyone gets motivated in different ways, and that kind of sparked a conversation with us. She's like, how do you get motivated? And I was like, I feel like I don't really have insightful information on it. It's a matter of like, I just get over myself and I fucking do it.
Yeah, but you've made it a priority. That's the difference though. You have it in your mindset that you've made it a priority. And you and I have talked, like, okay, so let's talk about the 5 a.m. club for a second, because I always say that I want to be a part of the 5 a.m. club, and that I want to get up, I want to do my workouts first thing, I want to be that motivated human. No, I don't. I don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drag my ass out of bed and go downstairs. I don't want to do that, so I don't make it a priority. Therefore, every time I set an alarm, I immediately press snooze, and then for the rest of the day, I feel guilty about it. I feel like I can't get stuff done because I didn't start my day early enough, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta be real with myself. I'm not gonna make that a priority, so I need to change what I'm doing, change a routine, fit it in how my lifestyle sees it all fit in, and motivate myself that way, because I'm never gonna make 5 a.m. a priority, ever. It's just not gonna happen. I love sleep too much, you guys. And I'm also, I need to send you this. I was talking to Sherry, who was one of our guests a little while ago. I was talking to her about the different types of, like, there's different body types. And there's a bear, there's a lion, what up? Oh, speak of the devil, it's Sherry.
Like eating for your body type?
No, yeah, but it was also like coming up with a routine for your body type. But one of the like, I'm a bear. I like to sleep in late, and I just like sleeping. Okay, but I'm a combination between an owl and a bear, because I do my best work later in the day. I am not the human to get up in the morning and work in the morning. I'm
the total opposite.
Yeah. So they also say, like, because you probably get up and you get things, you get started, right? You live inside, you get started, you get motivated, you can do all that work, and then you kind of peter out by the end. Whereas I need, like, my cup of coffee in the morning, 2 or 3 cups, let's be real, 2 or 3 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I need to slowly get started, and then once, like, it's like 11:30, then I'm like rearing to, well, it's like as soon as I'm done, like, my first client, which is at 10, I'm rearing to go after that. Like, I will work till 11:30, 12 at night.
When do you normally, like, go to bed?
11:30, 12 at night.
Do you get into bed before that, or what's your, like, nighttime, like, do you have a nighttime routine? Because, like, obviously you put your kids to bed.
Yeah. My nighttime routine, Lord. It varies.
Like, when do your kids go to bed?
Well, my son is in bed by 8:30, and that's usually when I can, like, relax or do what I want to do, watch a TV show if I want to, or hop on my computer, which is most likely, and work. But then after that, it's usually, like, lately it's just been me, like, walking like a zombie to my bedroom and passing out, or passing out with my child. But usually, what I usually do is I'm usually working. I'll work up until, like, 10 o'clock, 10:30. And Jerry and I will watch a episode of whatever we're watching at that time. I will wash my face, braid my hair, and I will be in bed and usually out by, like, 11:30.
Gotcha.
11:45. So, like, that's usually what my nighttime routine is like, and then I'm usually up by 7 with the kids and, you know, getting them all out of the house. I mean, obviously my life is a little bit chaotic right now, but where was this going?
Yeah, I just asked what your nighttime routine was.
Oh yeah, I don't have
because,
one.
Because for me, I am such a morning person. Like, I always have been a morning person. I thrive on it. Ask any of my friends. Like, they all call me a grandma. Like, I like to be in bed at freaking 8 p.m. if I'm happy.
Yeah, if I text her, I'm lucky to get a response after 8.
Oh yeah, like, it's a running joke. Like, people will text me and they know, like, if I don't reply and it's past 9 p.m., they know I'm most likely sleeping. And if I do text them back, they're like, holy shit, man, it's 10:30. What are you doing awake? Are you okay?
Have a sip of Red Bull?
Yeah, so I'm, like, the total opposite. And I just feel so productive in the morning time, like, so productive, and I get so much done. But then, I'm done, like, 6 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, okay. But now, like, in the summertime when it's light out, I definitely feel like I stay up later and I'm working until 8 or 9 o'clock at night now.
Yeah.
But then I lay down in bed, I read or I watch an episode of something, and I pass out watching an episode, and Pablo takes off my glasses and puts me to bed.
See, grandma glasses.
Yeah, seriously.
I have lots of friends. Like, so I have a girlfriend who's also like that. She's in bed, like, her nighttime routine. The latest that she will go to bed is 9:15, and she is up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Going for a run or in the gym, and she's a morning. She never used to be this way, and I don't know how she made the switch, but she is a morning person now, and she gets everything done in the morning, and then She's a really productive day. My other girlfriend, however, Sherry, she doesn't get up until like 11:30, and
Oh dear God.
I know, but she works from home. But like, she doesn't get up until 11:30. But she's also up until 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, editing, doing social media or whatever she's got to be doing, planning for the next day, working on schedules, and that's how she best does her work. And I'm trying really hard to like get into a balance of both. Like, I don't want to be sleeping until 11:30. I think my kids would probably hate me, but I also don't want to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
I think it's a matter of honestly, like, and I have given this advice to my sisters that really sometimes struggle with like having any sort of direction in their like routine and like getting out of their head. Like, there's so much time in a day that you can't, well, I don't think that you should just wake up, go to work, come home, and that's it. And it's nice to feel like you're accomplishing more. Like, even if it's just like doing your laundry, taking your kid, like doing other things in the day. It doesn't have to be only work. I feel like that's not a very fulfilling kind of.
Oh, okay. Now that she said this, okay, this just popped into my head. I have been watching a lot of, or reading rather, a lot of articles on successful CEOs and what their routines are like. And you've kind of seen a trend going, like, because before it was all about the 5 a.m. club. It was all about being up at 5 a.m. and doing more work than like half of your employees have already done by 8:30. You know what I mean? But it's not the case anymore. And I was reading an interview with a CEO, and I have no idea what the fuck he did. I think he was a financial CEO, or like he worked for he was a CEO or CFO for a financial company. Anyways, he said that though his job description is long, his job description is to make prioritize 3 good decisions a day.
Yeah.
And I think that is amazing advice, because as an entrepreneur, and this kind of goes back to like priorities. As an entrepreneur, we want to make everything, like we talk about it, all the things. We want to do all the things all the time, but we can't make all the things a priority all the time. We're incapable of doing it. We don't have enough hours in the day. We have loved ones, we have families, we have lives, we go on burnout. So what this guy was saying is prioritize to make 3 good decisions a day, whether that's personal, family, business-wise. Make 3 good decisions a day. And what I'm going to start doing, I have decided, is my first decision of the day, just to get me into the habit, is to make my bed.
Yes, and
just something small,
yes.
Just something small like that. Because do you know how many people if you hop out of bed every morning and make your bed at the moment, you're a freak of nature, okay? Because I'm a freak. You're a freak. You're a freak. I don't know anybody else who does that. I really don't. Like, well, I mean, unless they just don't. Who talks about making their bed in the morning? But Jerry and I just like roll out of bed and we're like off, because we've got so much to do during the day. It just slips our mind. So if you can stick to
this is my biggest thing that I tell everyone. Like, I read a lot, thanks to Pablo, and we have so many books at home. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I drive a lot. That's what I do. And I think if you listen and you listen to enough successful people, if they all talk about the same thing, like obviously there's some truth to what they're saying. Like, they're not just pulling it out of their ass. This is how these people became so successful, and they all talk about
there's certain
habits.
Little things. Yes, there's habits that successful people have to keep them in alignment and keep them motivated.
And this is the biggest thing, I think, is making a list of everything that you want to do in your week, whatever. And honestly, like Ed Milet talks about it, like breaking down your days into 3 days in one. So like so what he does, I think he breaks his day he breaks it down into 3 sections. Like, I think it was like 6 a.m. to noon to 3, or till 5, and then 5 to 11. I think he has a break
into 6 hours.
Okay. Yeah, and then he has like priorities. Like, in each window, I'm going to do something for myself, my business, and my family. And
3 decisions, you guys.
Yeah.
3 good decisions. And you said he broke it down into days. You know, so 3 good decisions per day, per section, per whatever it is. 3 good decisions.
So then he's making 9 great things, because in his head, 1 day is really 3 days. And so he's making sure that he's making those decisions, filling those buckets, because it doesn't matter what you do. I don't believe in balance. So like if you are excelling with your family, you're going to be dropping off in other areas, and vice versa. Like it's just you are making certain things a priority, at different times during your day, during your week, during your month, your life, you know? And sometimes certain things take the lead, and that's what I think balance is just knowing, like, filling all those buckets.
I think when it comes to balance, because I think that is balance, because I don't think that if you're on a roll for your business, I don't think you should immediately stop and cut yourself off in order to move on to something else. If you're on a roll, stay with the roll, but again, make 3 good decisions, whether it's like hugging your kids goodnight, or stopping just for a minute to go and make dinner, or something like this, something like that, just to break it up. But if you're on a roll in your business, don't stop. But at the same time, if you're with your family, you're enjoying family time, and you shouldn't stop your family time to force yourself to work on your business. You'll be stuck in overwhelm, and at least for me, that's what happens with me. If I ever try to force myself to be creative, to create on Canva or anything like that, I feel stuck, and I get frustrated because I'm not in that mode at that time. Like, for example, yesterday I was just sitting on the couch. We were watching an episode of Blind Spot or whatever Netflix TV show we decided to on, and I was on Canva, and I was just like firing through things. Like I just was in the zone, and finally I look up and it's like friggin' 10 to midnight. My husband's just like looking at me, just like dying. He's like, "Are you done yet?" And I'm like, "Why didn't you go to bed?" And he goes, "I was waiting for you." I'm like, "Oh, just go to bed." But like that's the thing. You get into that zone, and then exhaust that energy, get it out, and then move on to your next decision. But I really like that. I really like that you said that. Yeah. Because it all coincides. It does. And it's a matter of just like making that conscious effort to be present in the moment. Like, I don't think that you don't need to be like, okay, well, I'm working for 8 hours, so then I have to spend an equal 8 hours with my family. Like, that's not how it works. Like, it's just the time that you are working and the time that you're with your family, just be present and do what you can so that you can be present in that moment. And I can't remember who it was, but it was another podcast I was listening to, and he talked about he's like, the energy that I put into my work, like the amount of hours. I was just about to say this. You don't want to be working for 8 hours a day. Who wants to work 8 consecutive hours a day? So your energy input for those 8 hours could be the exact same energy input that you put into your family time in 1 hour. Well, and he said, like, he has like a teenage daughter, and he's like, my daughter doesn't want me to spend a freaking hour with her. No, she wants 4 minutes of my time, and during those 4 minutes, I am gonna be there and be present. Yes. And so don't get like hung up or feeling guilty about timing, because it is the quality, not the quantity. Agreed. I absolutely agree. Because even in your business, even if you are overwhelmed with, like, so for example, we have clients we are service-based. So if I go actually, here's a perfect example. I have not touched my social media in a week because I've had so many other priorities and clients and things that I needed to get done that I haven't touched my social media. Do I feel guilty and bad about it? Absolutely I do, because I still want to be present on social media, but I can't beat myself up about the fact that I made other business decisions to move forward in my business and not grow on social media. Does that make sense? Yeah, it was kind of a rant. Yeah, no, totally. And that's where, like, same with me, because I feel like it's always a constant, well, maybe just because I'm making so many shifts right now, but I feel like it's always like top of mind, like, what direction do I want to go on my social media? And I think it's mainly at the forefront because I'm making so many switches. Yeah. So I want it to be intentional. And that's why, I haven't been on it as much as I would like to be. But I also, like, I don't know, I just think it's so important to really be true and like, I don't know, just be so blunt with yourself of being like, what is a priority today? What do I actually need to get done? What do I want to get done? And what is going to propel me forward? And just focusing on that, because I don't know, it's like saying that
saying that I like worked for 12 hours in a day, like it's not necessarily something to be proud of, because and I used to think that was like a badge of honor, like haha, fuck you guys, I'm working way harder. But that's not like, it's not the truth, because okay, cool, like I did hair for 12 hours and what else did I do? That's it. I woke up, I worked out, I went to work, and I went home and went to bed. Like
you were tired, you were overwhelmed, you were probably dreading having to stand on your feet the next day to do more clients.
And you get burnt out, and that's where now I'm really trying to like establish some boundaries too, because in this like latest change with getting into real estate, I love hair. I'm still doing hair. I want to do that, but I also want to do real estate, and I don't want to be that person that's like trying to do everything and half-assing it. Like that is not me. So the time that I'm doing hair, I said like I want to be solely on my clients. Like I don't want to be worrying about anything else. And when I'm doing real estate, that's what I want to be focused on. And 100%. If it's, I tell my clients, I'm like, if it is urgent, call me, because then I know it's important. Yeah. And hopefully no one, violates that, and it is actually, important in that time. But that's what is going to be my like new struggle and challenge, is really establishing those boundaries early on, so that I can be 100% my all when I'm doing hair and 100% my all when I'm doing real estate.
I think also talking about like being in the moment, being in the like, and not just physically being in the moment, but you have to really prepare yourself mentally to be in the moment as well, because Garrett, you're gonna be doing hair and your client's not going to talk to you for a minute, and you're immediately going to start drifting into real estate. Like I know you, that's how I am. So you have to like mentally prepare yourself to be in that moment presently, and that's where I feel like the phrase, is this a priority, or I'm not making this a priority, comes into play. Because something that I'm really struggling with right now is self-care for me, because I'm so worried about everything else. Self-care has definitely taken a backseat, and again, I'm gonna say it, it's not been my priority. And do you know how much that kills me? Like if I wake up in the morning and I know that I have an hour and a half before my first client, okay, am I gonna go downstairs? Am I gonna work out? Am I gonna have a good breakfast, or what? And usually 9 times out of 10, I usually go, well, I have stuff to get done on my computer, which I know for a fact that I can get done later on in the day, because they are a lower priority than my self-care would be. But in that moment, I'm saying that my self-care is not a priority, and I feel like that's really important, especially when you're in the moment. You have to, regardless of whether or not you're saying this, I've allotted this time for my business or myself or whatever, by not changing your priorities. If you have allotted the time for doing hair, for your self-care, whatever. Hey, Dr. Seuss, how's it going? If you've allotted that time and labeled it, be in the present moment and remember to yourself, don't change that priority.
And if like for me, I make a list. I make a list of what I need to do, and I just make sure that I get it done, because then you have direction and you're not just going into it willy-nilly, like okay, from this time to this time I'm gonna do this. And that's what I had to do at the beginning, because during COVID, like I'm sure everyone said this, they like, some people excelled and up their fitness game. I did not. I really tried at the beginning, and then at the end it just was not a priority to me, and then I was deeply ashamed
of the guilt. Yeah. But that's another thing. Like we also just said I love that we're contradicting ourselves, but not really. Because when we say like, if you're on a roll, don't quit, but then we're also saying time block. But where was I going with this? No one knows.
Regardless, the only thing that I was on a roll with was freaking Netflix at that time, and I knew I was able to do so much more, and that's where the guilt came from.
That's right. Don't feel guilty. Especially if you've made other important priorities a priority over other things. That's where that was going.
You're sitting on your ass watching Netflix. That's not getting you anywhere in your life. Like unless you're a freaking employed with Netflix. I don't know. But for me, I knew I was capable of more, and it was just getting into that routine. And then the longer that I pushed it off, it became this big thing. And I was like, fuck, it's going to be so hard to like get back into the gym, and I'm going to be sore, blah, blah, blah.
And that's the story you told yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's, I love that. We need to talk about that on another episode. But yeah, no, but I agree, because then it was just, because then most people go into defeat mode, which is like, well, I've already screwed up my routine. I may as well just sit down and finish it. Like, you know, you always have a chance. If you think about every hour as a new starting point, you always have a chance throughout the day, the next week. Don't wait till the next week.
Just fucking do it. Just get off your
yes.
ass, make that instant change. And Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. Like, if you've been wanting to do something, change something that you were doing right this moment. So like for me, we want to get better mics for Tequila Talk Tuesday. And the best thing that we can do is after the show, go onto Amazon and fucking order those mics, because we need that. And doing that instant change, it's your mind then says, okay, we're actually doing this, and it starts prepping you for it. So for me, I was struggling to work out, but now I'm on week 4, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm back in the routine. I'm so thankful I did it, and it's just making that change initially. It's hard. It is hard to get it going, but once you do, in 4 weeks from now, you'll be thankful that you started.
And it'll be an automatic priority, and then you can move on to other things.
Yes, then you just don't have to even think about it.
What I used to implement, let's be honest here. What I used to implement all the time, especially when I had a hard time getting motivated, getting up off the couch, whatever it was doing, stopping something that I knew that I could finish later, is I call it the five countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown rule. Whatever. You if you know that you should be doing something else, count down from 5, and then as soon as it's almost like an internal motivation, because you're just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're literally giving yourself 5 seconds, and then you're up and you go. And I did that for a really, really long time, especially when it came to the gym, where it would just be I didn't give myself a chance in that 5 seconds to make another decision, to get up to go to the fridge to get a snack or something. It was just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, gym shoes on, and off I went. And I feel like sometimes you do have to make those split decisions. You do have to make those quick decisions, and like you said, just do it. Yeah. You know it's a priority. You want to make it a priority. Don't listen to ego, because she's a hateful bitch. All those things.
Yeah, so just fucking do it, and be honest with yourself and say, if you didn't go to the gym today, if you didn't do your write-up, you just have to be honest and be like, that wasn't a priority to me today.
Yeah, you definitely had time. You definitely could have made time. You could have rearranged your schedule. What could have you done? You just didn't make it a priority.
Yeah, and if you're upset with, once you speak those words and that upsets you, you're doing something wrong, and make a better decision tomorrow.
Yeah, make different priorities, different choices.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. Priorities and staying motivated.
See you next week.
We love you.